Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming a video about a signing that I went to on Friday with Meg Wolitzer, Jandy Nelson, and Ally Condie, and these are all YA authors. I believe Meg Wolitzer has published some adult books, but I think her recent young adult book was called BELZHAR, and Ally Condie has written the Match trilogy, Atlantia, and Jandy Nelson has written The Skies Everywhere and I'll Give You the Sun. And they went on a tour to kind of like celebrate, I guess, the paperback releases of their books. So yeah, I went on Friday and I had lots of fun. I got to meet all three authors, and I also met Grace from Gracewithabookinherface, and she was really awesome. And that was fun. We talked about books and whatnot. I had a great time there, and I love going to author signings because you always meet people who are right up your alley. I know some of my friends don't always read, so I got to meet some people that read, and that was fun. So what I recorded was basically some stuff, mostly the authors talking about what their books are about, and I think maybe a question or two that Grace got to ask. But yeah, it wasn't a lot, but I filmed some footage, so I got that on tape, and yeah, so hopefully you enjoy what I recorded. Without further ado, I'll just let it roll on.
Book in her face, and I just do a bunch of book reviews, just anything books, because books are awesome. And I have a couple individual questions to ask them, and then if we have time, some fun questions at the end. So we'll start with Candy first. So, Jan and her roommate DJ, we have a really good relationship. And what do you think they found from each other that they didn't have at the beginning? They found it through them at the end.
Well, I think I should just say a little bit about what.
Oh, what it's about, yeah.
I don't think so. No, that's so bad.
It's like,
All right, we're borrow first.
Okay. So this book, BELZHAR, which some people pronounce BELZHAR, which is fine, but I'll answer to anything I'll answer to Madame Bovary, is about a girl named Jam, who was just mentioned by Grace, who has tragically lost her boyfriend, and she's sent to a boarding school for emotionally fragile, highly intelligent teenagers, and I'm killed to go to that school. And when she's there, she's put into a special class that reads Sylvia Plath, hence the title is a little pun on the BELZHAR, and they write in journals. And when each of these kids writes in a journal, they're reunited with the thing that they've lost. And in her case, that's her boyfriend who reappears for her. So
we got 2 years to write this book, which is the longest it's taken, and I think part of that is because I wanted so badly to get it right. And this story is a sister's book. I based it loosely on The Little Mermaid, even though they're not mermaids. They built an underwater city, which is, again, set in the future, but as a reaction to all the pollution that's kind of taking place on Earth. And so I learned through my research that we're actually a lot closer to being able to move some people underwater than we are to send them into space and have them be very safe for very long. And so there's a caste system where the kind of poor people have to stay above and breathe in this awful air and send supplies down to the people in the underwater city. They constructed a religion to make this seem okay, but the people are not happy. And so there's this feeling of it's only a matter of time before the city crumbles or something happens to them. So she's dealing with that, and also her sister, the main character's name is Rio, her twin sister is named Bay, and Bay makes this choice that separates them irrevocably. And Rio doesn't understand why this would happen, why her sister would make this choice, and she spends most of the book trying to get back her sister that she loves, trying to solve the mystery of why she would leave. Her mother was also the leader of Atlantia, which is the name of the city, and she was murdered before the book begins. And so it starts to become apparent that that's connected to what happened to Bay. She's trying to piece together all of it, and then she falls in love along the way. So that's just a summary.
So I think if that happens tonight, you can answer it. I've written 2 books. My first book was called Skies Everywhere. It's still called Skies Everywhere. My new book is called I'll Give You the Sun, and it's about twins, Noah and Jude, and they've always been just inseparable, just fiercely close. And then tragedy strikes, and they're ripped apart. And stories told in dueling point of views from Noah's when they're 13 and Jude's when they're 16. And I very much
are you a big fan of Clark Gable, considering he's like a god type in this book?
I wouldn't say I was a huge, so in the book, the grandmother calls God Clark Gable. And it was really fun for me to write because, like, you know, Jude is always saying, you know, I didn't want them to blend, and I didn't want my feeling about it. I wanted my feelings about it to be very different, and they just are. Like, I feel very emotionally connected to Noah, and it was a real joy to write him because of he just has such a visual sensibility. I got to use so many metaphors, it was like obscene. And then Jude, I think for me she was entertaining because she was so superstitious, and she was also like chondriacal, and I might be a little bit hypochondriacal as well. And just so I felt, I don't know, I guess that's hard. I think I really enjoyed writing both of them.
So my next question is, Jude says that the worst thing that could have ever happened to Noah was he got all his buttons, meaning he's normal. What made you choose buttons as kind of this metaphor for normalcy?
Huh? I feel stumped. I think, well, that again came from the grandmother who was, you know, she sewed dresses.
Yeah.
So I think the metaphor just came from her way of thinking and her life, and so it just came out of, it was her vernacular from what
So that was it for my video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Bye!